You don't see me doing this kind of stuff.
You're quiet, right?
I thought I'd start with this day by showing something that is a very rare sight, which is Victor quiet, very quiet, writing in his journal. Does not happen very often. He's looking at our moves and coming up with a new sequence. So something that I started noticing that I've talked with them about is they're incorporating the use of the squeeze. You can see Victor squeezing Julio's shoulder right before he flips him. So they're using non-verbal communication in order to give each other a cue as to what's going to happen next, similar to dance. And it's really helpful when performing so that you have a sense of making sure that connection is there, making sure your flyer is ready to be as safe as possible in doing your move. I got really excited there when they kind of executed the roly-poly just as the music picked up. It was great timing and intuitively really smart for them to wait that extra beat before rolling. And we'll see if that can be incorporated into the final performance and as consistently, because we have not, unlike a lot of dance choreography, we aren't bound to a specific beat or set of beats, and so the timing, just with the nature of circus, it can be more unpredictable than dance. Not impossible though, and as we work towards refining it, we'll get closer and closer to being consistent and being able to map our movements to the beat of the music, depending on which music they end up choosing for the final performance. Two great things right here. Juan and Victor are really doing well with their possum, and then Julio is able to hold his koala, that move where he's upside down, longer than he has in the past. So really fun to see when consistently over time they're improving with their moves, and then therefore able to have more control over the choreography of their act. On this day, Juan had to leave early, so we hadn't set up all the mats, which is why they're dragging each other back and forth. They don't have the full width of all the mats stacked together that they usually do, and so that's the reason for the dragging across the mats. Not going to be in their final performance. All right. With this group, they get to spend a couple of times doing multiple performances, and I videotaped the performances, and then they watched it and looked for ways to improve it. Again, this group just came together pretty much on Monday. Solidified itself, and so everything that they're creating is an amalgamation or combination of including that flip that Quincy added, which is really exciting to add. So everything has been kind of their two pairs, the different moves that they had going as a pair, combining into one, and then working on transitions between it. So I think that they've done a good job of making those two groups come together in a cohesive way, in a way that makes sense. And here's Quincy showing off his koala. He really likes it. He does a good job with it, and they end up with their handstand walkovers. And on the first try, their group was definitely a little less focused, like especially when they weren't performing, so there's an extra challenge for them to think about what they were doing, even if they weren't the two people interacting, how they were looking on the sides, what was it, how are they using their bodies. And Yoarvi kind of went to his knees, and Quincy, I think, stood with his arms crossed. But pretty much the rest of their choreography is continuing as it has been going, with their final bow. And I appreciate that they have kind of a double bow, where they do their initial bow, twirl off, signature Eucharist twirl, and then they come back in a way that reminds me of like a quinceañera or a formal prom kind of event. I really like it. And then there's their final bow.